You sent me this article. I think, was it a USA Today or a Star Tribune or something?
It was Star Tribune.
Okay.
I think Mark Craig is who wrote the article. But yeah, it's essentially an interview with Mike Zimmer, the most recent former Vikings head coach. And it was pretty interesting. Did you read the article?
I did. Yeah, I got through most of it, and then I saw a lot of people talking about it on Twitter and other social media sites. So it was interesting to see the commentary after it came out.
Yeah, I will say, so I read it all the way through, but before I read it all the way through, I saw the quotes that people were tweeting out and reacting to. And some of the quotes, one of the big ones is something to the tune of like the Wilfs, when they let Zimmer go, they also gave him the opportunity if he wanted to go address the team before he left. And the quote was something like, "Heck no, they got me fired." And so that's the one that got tweeted around. And yeah, that's probably a really blunt and honest thought in the thought process. But if you read the whole article, it doesn't make Zimmer come off across as like the biggest jerk in the world. It gives you some insight into a guy that was fired and didn't really think he should have been fired, but he still, I think if you read the whole article, it gives you a better perspective on his thought process and lets you know, yeah, he was annoyed, but he's not the worst person in the world.
And also a guy who was grieving quite a bit after losing his son. And I mean, he had some other issues off the field in Minnesota too with I know he had eye problems and he had to wear the patch for a long time and all that. So, I thought the article did a nice job of maintaining his dignity and his honor. He's still a great coach. I like how it started where I think it was either his daughter or his now girlfriend or something. Was it his daughter?
Yeah.
His daughter basically said like, yeah, you're happier now. Like you have a better demeanor in life than you did when you were kind of in the thick of it as a head coach. So
do you remember that NFL? It was like an NFL promo commercial they put out, I think, either to like start the season, and they were kind of giving clips of a bunch of players and coaches and people around the league like being really happy about like, oh, the season's about to start, and then it like just cut to Mike Zimmer behind his desk, like just kind of like for like 5 straight seconds, just like straight face, angry, like whatever, like get out of my office. And maybe everything I just said, I was too far away from the mic, I don't know. But the NFL, and he kind of put off this persona when he was the Vikings coach of like this guy that's like just pissed off all the time. I remember seeing a clip of when he was a Bengals defensive coordinator. They were on Hard Knocks, and it was this like 30-second clip, and most of it was bleeped out because not even every other word, but like most of the words Zimmer was saying to these players mid-game was like MF, all these, every swear word in the book, probably some swear words he made up, but like he just kind of came off across as like this hard-nosed guy. And this article, the beginning of it was like, yeah, he's actually kind of smiling. Like he kind of likes coaching again for the Cowboys as a defensive coordinator again. Like, I don't know. It was a good article. I'd recommend finding it if you can. I know the Star Tribune has a paywall behind most of their stuff. We were able to find it and read it. So I don't know. It was interesting.
Yeah, it was. And like I said, it didn't paint Zimmer as a bad guy. I definitely think he's your old school coach. Rough, tough. And it was surprising though to dig into the team culture a little bit, because we knew there were issues. We knew it wasn't all, sunshine and rainbows in the locker room.
Yeah, he straight up said like his last year as the Vikings coach, him and Rick Spielman, the GM,
didn't speak to each other.
Didn't talk.
Well, he got frosty with a lot of people. He got frosty with Kirk Cousins and wouldn't talk to him because he didn't agree with signing Kirk Cousins.
That's interesting.
And that was an interesting quote in the article when he said, "Yeah, Kirk came and then we lost the ability to sign better defensive players."
Yeah,
which I think could have helped us.
And he was saying like we were winning 10 plus games every year with guys like Bridgewater or Case Keenum. Like we didn't need the MVP level quarterback, and then we get one and we pay him all this money, and makes the rest of the roster suffer because we can't sign these guys.
And then I don't know if it was in the article or if it was a separate quote from Kellen Mond kind of in response to all this, but I saw something. Kellen Mond was quoted saying, this was on Twitter, I think, that he didn't speak to Zimmer once.
Yeah, I think it alluded to it in the article.
And we all know that Zimmer didn't like that Spielman took Kellen Mond at all. I think that was pretty obvious to anybody, even casual fans. But you drafted the guy, you're the head coach. To not even have the conversation. And that just reminds me of Justin Jefferson, not even knowing where the head coach's office was at TCO. And that wasn't even in the article, but that was just something we heard about. And KOC is just a night and day different coach. And we've already alluded to it. We've already said it. He's a player's coach. He builds relationships with these guys. And now you see the videos coming out on Vikings social media of Justin Jefferson just happens to swing by the office and hey man, what's up? And they dap each other up, give each other a hug. And
I love it. A couple of times the Vikings have put out little shorts or TikToks or whatever, and it'll be KOC kind of walking up to the huddle of players in practice, and he'll kind of jab and be like, now I know you guys all suck at basketball, but we need you to jump high. And all the players what? No way. It's funny, but that's the kind of culture you're talking about. KOC just jokes around with these guys, but still gets the job done. I think Zimmer was very much he was the drill sergeant and got things done. And some players respond to that, some players don't. And if they don't and you're not winning, that's what's going to cause a change in coaching. So it was a good article. I enjoyed reading it. And ultimately, I came away having a more positive attitude about Zimmer. If you understand and accept that he is the hard-nosed guy, that he says things a certain way and he has a certain way of doing things, which is that quote-unquote drill sergeant way, but people still like him. He's not universally hated. He's got the hard nose. This is how we're going to do it. And sometimes it rubs people the wrong way. But ultimately, I read the article and had a better perspective on Mike Zimmer. And
I would also add, I think the Vikings hired the right guy.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
In Kevin O'Connell. I think Zimmer was a good coach. We found some success under him, and it seems like he's a lot happier now that he's had a few years away from football, and now he's reintegrated back with the Cowboys. Good for him. Wish him nothing but the best, but boy, am I glad that we've got Kevin O'Connell leading the charge.
And to that point, in the article, it kind of asks Mike Zimmer if he would ever want or think he could ever get another head coaching position again, and he kind of dances around the question. He doesn't say yes or no if he wants to be a head coach again, but he does kind of say, maybe I'm a little too old, and honestly I think these owners want a coach that can really coach the quarterback, which that's how the NFL is going these days. And I think Zimmer's right in that aspect, that owners and GMs, they want a head coach that can be the mentor to the quarterback. And to that point, I think KOC is the perfect example of that. I don't think we could have a better one.
I definitely agree. Well,